So we're here today with Henning Dörries, CEO of Dörries Yachts, and we're going to talk about Project Zephyr. You describe Dörries as a shipyard on demand. Before we talk about Project Zephyr, can you explain what this means and where does a build actually happen and who does the work?
The basic idea of the shipyard on demand is not owning a specific property or specific shipbuilding facility, but whenever we have a project, we would rent out facilities where we build the project in, and we have a specific build team for the project, move the build team there and finish the project there. Helps us to keep the overall overhead costs low because we don't have to employ so many people and pay rent for the shed, for example, whenever we don't have a project. So that means that's what shipyard on demand.
Okay, interesting. And obviously you talk about different shipyards and different, well, more than shipyards, different facilities. Dörries began in marine supervision, essentially watching other yards from the inside. So how does this perspective shape the way that Dörries approaches new builds?
One of the biggest advantages being involved in or on the owner's side doing supervision and consultancy is that you actually see both sides. You're not only on the shipbuilding side, but you see the owner's rep side, and that all over helps with a project, I would say, because you do understand the perspective of the owner, of the owner's rep, but even from the shipyard's perspective as well. So I think that's it's been always helpful for us.
Right, so you have different angles and that
Yes,
helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Obviously, we're talking about shipbuilding facilities, and German craftsmanship has a specific reputation in the industry and in the super yacht world. What does building in Germany actually mean for a buyer, especially at this level, and what are they getting that they wouldn't get anywhere else?
That's a good question. You probably have to ask that a non-German. But if you ask me, when I look back, made in Germany always stands for craftsmanship, quality work, and for me, project management as well. So it's very strategic, so that it's not like running around without a hat, but it's always very decisive work, and the project management is one of the most important things in the whole thing.
Obviously, we're talking about craftsmanship and everything that goes with that. Quality assurance is everything at this size, right? Without a fixed yard and a permanent team, how do you maintain consistency across a multi-year project?
I don't think quality is based on a building. It comes down to the core people who are doing the management or the build. So if you ask me, the most important part of delivering a yacht in the highest quality is you need to have a core team which is very well educated in the industry. And then, of course, you need to have subcontractors which you can rely and you can trust on, and then you don't need a facility because it's just the shed where the boat is being built. It doesn't have to do anything with the quality at all. If you ask me, you need a facility suitable for the project, but that could be in the northern part of Germany, in the eastern part of Germany. It doesn't really matter.
Right, so you say the most important element is not the fixed yard, rather the team that builds the project.
It's all about the team, the owner's rep team, and of course the subcontractors, which are doing the vast majority of the labor work, you know. Yeah.
So obviously now talking about Project Zephyr, she sits at 116 meters, still construction, 54 months from contract.
Yep.
Take us a little bit deeper into the build sequence. What actually happens in those 4.5 years?
So after the vessel construction agreement has been signed, the first part of the job would be doing more intense design studies together with Johnny. From there on, we would do the engineering part, which takes around 12 months. After the 12 month, or in the 12th month, we would already place orders for the larger items, for example, the main engine, stuff like that. Things which have a longer lead time. After 12 months, we would start steel cutting and start manufacturing the steel hull, and the superstructure would take us around 14 months. Then the outfitting phase begins when it comes to pretty much everything what makes a yacht. For example, the interior outfitting, filling and fairing, teak decking, all that kind of stuff. That takes roughly 24 months. Then the yacht is pretty much done or finished. But we have 3 months of harbor acceptance tests, so everything, all the systems being tested, followed by sea acceptance trials. And then we still have a month for work that still needs to be done, touch-ups, or there might be an issue with something. So we still have a month to fix that. And then the boat is ready for delivery.
Amazing. Well, there's a lot to do in those 4.5 years.
It is a huge project.
Exciting, absolutely. Obviously, you mentioned Johnny. You're working with H2 on this project. How did this collaboration begin, and what does Johnny bring to the project that you're very excited about or most excited about?
Well, first of all, I really enjoy Johnny as a person. He's a really, really great guy. First time I met Johnny was in, I have to lie now, it's probably 2012. We were doing a project on the owner's side in Hamburg for an 80-meter vessel, and Johnny was the exterior and interior designer for that vessel. And I got to meet him in a hotel, and from there on, he was really supportive with us. He came up with a couple of design studies for us, and I always enjoyed working with Johnny. He's very down to earth. He listens to the customer, and his designs are absolutely amazing. And he's got a big name in the yachting industry as well. So more than excited to work with him on this project.
Amazing. Everybody, I think, is excited. So talking about excitement, if someone that is watching this is excited about Project Zephyr but nervous about committing to something that doesn't exist yet, what would you say to them?
Well, first of all, it's understandable because it's not only a huge financial endeavor, but he's like spending 54 months of his life and getting a project or a yacht delivered. To be honest, everything great has to start somewhere, right? And most of the custom yachts are not there. They are a piece of paper in the beginning. And then I think the journey of developing something from a piece of paper into this massive boat, and probably the dream of the future owner, that's a great journey. So it's understandable that they're hesitant maybe, but you have to start somewhere.
Absolutely. So I guess if they're excited, it definitely, also the build project is an exciting one to go through.
And if you have an owner who's really keen on being part of that project, it's even better, because then you have the input from the owner all the time, which is great.
From where you're sitting now, it is now a good time to commission a new build, and what does the order book look like, and why should someone move sooner rather than later to get a project like this?
I think it's a really good time to order a yacht right now. I know that most yachts are completely booked out until 2030. So, and then you have another 54 months of building time. So we have that slot available right now. So if you start with us, you're going to have your boat in 4.5 years. So it's a perfect time to start, if you ask me.
Well, there you go. Timeline is absolutely crucial. And what would you say is the most common misconception that buyers have about what a shipyard actually does?
The idea that the shipyard is doing everything. So there's one company, and the one company is doing all the work, but it's the complete opposite, because there are hundreds of people involved from different companies making this boat a reality. For example, we subcontract the steelwork. For example, you have people doing the AVIT, you have people doing the interior outfitting. So I think that is a big misconception, that the yacht is doing everything. We do the supervision of the subcontractors, yes, but a huge portion of the build is being done by partner companies, really. So I think that is the biggest misconception.
Okay, interesting. That's something that I was not expecting. I thought something different, but there you go. Well, thank you very much for sitting with me today, and for talking us through Project Zephyr.
Absolutely.
And I guess we'll look for someone now.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.